Hi everyone, welcome to another session of GCSE Maths. In this tutorial, we're going to look at some quadratic equations, and this would be our part number 1. Okay, so little bit of theory about quadratic equation. So quadratic equation which has term up to and including x squared, which means you go a power of 2. That means you go 2 solutions. Quadratic equation can be written as ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. Yeah, so we can write quadratic equation as this form, where a, b, and c are numbers. So a cannot be equal to 0, but b and c can be 0. So if you think about it, if we insert 0 instead of x, the whole equation would be 0, which can't exist. We're going to look at some examples now. So this is our example number 1, 4x squared minus 5x minus 9 equals to 0. So what we have to do is we have to compare this with this equation, as we discussed before, which is this equation. As we said, quadratic equation can be written as this form. So if we compare this equation with this equation, so we go x squared here, we go x squared there. So value of a would be 4, which is this 4, and then we go plus bx, so we go x there, it goes x there, so value of b would be minus 5. Yeah, so value of b would be minus 5, and then we go plus c, so value of c would be minus 9. So we go values for a, b, and c. So these are our solutions for values of a, b, and c. Now moving on to next example. So we go 4x squared equals to 64. So we do a bit of rearranging here. We go 4x squared minus 64. Yeah, so the way we've done is we just follow some shortcuts here. So we just subtracted 64 from both sides of the equation to get rid of this equation and make it 0 on this side. So now if we compare this with the this equation again, so we'll have a equals to 4, which is this 4, and then b would be, which is this bx, which would be 0, and then value for c would be minus 64. So these are our solutions. So moving on, so quadratic equation can be written as this form, as we discussed earlier on. Now solution of this quadratic equation, which can be written as x equals to minus b plus minus b square root of b square minus 4ac and divided by 2a. So if you go quadratic equation in the exam, this formula will be given to you. So all you have to do, you'll have to just plug the number in, and then you can show your working out. So if we do an example based on this formula, so we go x squared plus 6x minus 12 equals to 0, and it says solve using quadratic formula. So you'll have to use this formula, which will be given to you in the exam. Now, so what we have to do is we have to identify values of a, b, and c. So again, if we compare this equation with this equation, then we should be able to find out our values for a, b, and c. So that would be, because we go x squared there, we go x squared there, so there is nothing in front of this x squared, which means we go a equals to just 1. Then we go bx and we go 6x, which means b equals to 6. And then we go c here, and then we go minus 12. So that will be c equals to minus 12. Now what we have to do is we have to plug these three numbers into this formula. So we'll have x equals to, so we go minus b here. So instead of minus b, we'll put b equals to 6. And then we go plus minus square root. Then we go b squared. So instead of b, we put 6 squared minus, and then we go 4 from formula. So we put the 4 times 1, which is a equals to 1. And then we go c, which is minus 12. And then we go 2a. Then we go 2 from the formula, and then a is 1, which is from here. Now we do a bit of simplification here. So we'll have x equals to minus 6, and if you work this out, so that will be 36 minus 4 times 12, that will be 48, that will be plus 48. So 48 plus 36, which is 84. Now x equals to minus 6 plus 84. Again, because we go plus minus here, which means we go two solution. When we say quadratic, which means we go power of 2, which means we go two solutions. So one is positive solution and one is negative solution. So we can write this formula as positive, which is x equals to minus 6 plus square root of 84 divided by 2. And if we work this out, then you should get 1.58, which is in 2 decimal place. And the negative solution would be x equals to minus 6 and then minus square root of 84 divided by 2. Then we'll have minus 7.58 in 2 decimal place. Yeah, so that's how we can work out a solution of a quadratic equation. Yeah, so that's it from me for today. Please feel free to ask any question in the comment box, and please subscribe for next video. And thank you for watching.